That's a press conference from the Department of Justice. They're talking about a Venezuelan crime syndicate. We are headed there. Maybe we're not. Looks like that just wrapped up as well. On the right-hand side, you do see the White House. As you know, they've been throwing one heck of a party there for the past couple of days, all leading up to July 4th and America 250. Below that, we always take a look at your money. The New York Stock Exchange, that is a live image of the big board. That is what they call it. And then below, what we're looking at is Vice President J.D. Vance was speaking. It looks like he's ready to depart. I'm wondering if we can hear just a little bit. We're going to listen in.
Hold on, guys. First of all, I want to say thanks to Jen Kiggins, who's doing an amazing job. You know, she actually, her last duty station as an active duty service member was at this very base, so she cares a lot about the people who serve here, the active duty service members. She's also been an amazing champion for our veterans, and I know we have a lot of those in her district, but of course all across the country. So I really wanted to come, obviously show our support for the troops, thank them for everything that they've done, but also just give a little shout out to Jen because she's been such a happy warrior on behalf of our veterans and service members. So I think you were very happy to see them and very happy to get to spend some time with them.
This was a great honor to be able to have you here, Mr. Vice President, and the Secretary of the VA. We do have such a large veteran population, but also a large active duty population. And this base is meaningful to me personally as a Navy veteran, as a Navy wife, now as a proud Navy mom of a Navy pilot. So there's a lot of work to be done here, and I fight for these guys every day of the week. I know our local media knows this, the quality of life measures that we've put in place, the work we've done to make sure our warfighters have the resources they need. The Navy is our district, the military is our district, our veterans are our district. So very important amongst the other work that we have the privilege of doing in Washington, but this is definitely a priority, and no better time, the 250th birthday of our great nation. So thank you so much for being here.
Of course, absolutely. And of course, one of the things we're proudest of in the Trump administration is that we've seen a massive reduction in backlogs for veterans who are calling the VA to get the treatment and the benefits they deserve. Doug, why don't you say a little bit about that, because that's been because of your great work.
Well, one of the things the president said, he said, go take care of veterans. And it's with help of people like Jen Kiggins in Congress that we've been able to partner together to lower backlogs. Just to let you know, when we stepped in from the previous administration, we had 260,000 backlog claims over 125 days. I'm here to tell you historic lows. We're in the 60s from 137 days down to 77 days. That's what it means to put a veteran first at the VA. And with help of like Jen, who works at it every day on the Congress side, with the Vice President and the President, we all work together to do one thing, is put veterans first at the VA. Times for wait times are going down. More people are getting service. We've actually opened, Vice President, 2 million more appointment times across the country that did not exist a year ago. So we can take care of our younger veterans. These folks coming out right here, they're going to be taken care of. And it's thanks to y'all.
Okay, thank you, Doug. All right, questions?
Thanks, Mr. Vice President. Why do you think Ocasio-Cortez says she hopes that you're the nominee in the 2028 presidential election?
I don't know. I don't think much about 2028, as you know. My attitude is, let's do a good job now. Let's continue to try to bank some wins for the American people. We can worry about the future when the future comes, but we got an important midterm election here. We got to keep the people in Congress who've been fighting for our troops and our veterans, like Jen Kiggins, in office. That's what I'm focused on.
Yeah, not midterm convention.
In line with your remarks just now, can you commit that the U.S. won't return to full-fledged combat operations before the 60-day clock at the embassy is up?
Well, I can't commit to anything because obviously it depends on what the Iranians are ultimately going to do. As I said up there, what I can commit to is the president's not going to send our military back in unless he has to, unless there's a clearly defined purpose for it. I think that was really the contrast I was trying to draw between open-ended military commitments with no clear objective and what the president of the United States has done, which is define an objective, go and accomplish that objective. If we've got to do more, of course, that's kind of up to the Iranians. If they try to rebuild their nuclear program, if they try to start shooting at commercial vessels again, that's going to change our calculus. But right now, what the president has said is go and make a deal, go and negotiate in good faith, and that's what he's empowered us to do.
Mr. Vice President, do you think Justice Alito will retire before the end of the term, or before the next term?
I don't know. You know, Justice Alito is such an amazing guy, and I think the Supreme Court, he would be irreplaceable. But of course, if he retired, that's up to him, and we would try to do the best job we could at finding a proper replacement.
Vice President, what are the status of the Doha talks that the president mentioned earlier in the week?
Well, right now, the technical negotiators are sitting down with the Iranians, with the Qataris, and with others in Doha. You know, talking about some of the details here, making sure commercial traffic really does. It's already started in an amazing direction. We've got now oil at $68. We've got gas prices starting to come down, but really just ensuring that we continue to make the progress on that. And that's what they're focused on. And then, we're worried about the nuclear issue. We're going to start talking about that. So right now the talks are going well. It's still pretty early, but talks are going well.
When you spoke at the briefing room a couple of weeks back, you mentioned there are well-known factions within the Iranian government that you're not struggling, I should say, but that you kind of have to negotiate with both. Can you give us a little more color on what those factions look like? Who is helpful in being productive in those talks and who is not?
Look, I think in the Iranian system, like a lot of places, you've got people who actually recognize the last 47 years of their government has been a mistake and that they need to change their relationship with the United States, with Europe, with the Gulf Arab countries. And then you've got a few people who are still kind of attached to the old ways. We think we see a lot of momentum for the people who are trying to turn over a new leaf. We're obviously going to that's why we're going to give the negotiations as much of a chance to succeed as possible. But of course, as I said to somebody earlier, if they try to rebuild that nuclear program, if they refuse to let inspections in, if they resume shooting at commercial vessels, which they have stopped for a few days, then obviously the president still has a lot of options on the table. We'll do one more question. Anybody?
Some conservatives are angry with Justice Amy Coney Barrett. Are you one of them?
Well, look, do I think she made a mistake in the ruling? I do. I don't know how anybody can say that if a person who is an illegal alien or a person, for example, who's pregnant and comes to the United States on a vacation, they have a baby and all of a sudden their entire family gets the benefits of American citizenship. I don't think that's what the framers of the 14th Amendment had in mind. I don't think it's the right case. But look, it was 5-4. Sometimes the Supreme Court makes mistakes. We're going to try to correct that mistake, but nobody's perfect, including the Supreme Court. See you guys. Have a happy 4th if I don't talk to you.
Happy 4th. Yep.
So there you see the vice president as he prepares to leave, talking about a number of things, primarily veterans. As you see, he is with members of the military. It's going to be a very busy weekend for the president, the vice president, and members of their teams. Remember, a lot is happening. We are still in an active war with Iran. There is the World Cup is still going on, and then of course America's 250th birthday. We're celebrating it here in Philadelphia in a number of ways. Washington, D.C., Boston, New York, so many different cities are marking the holiday. So we're going to take a quick 2-minute break. As you probably know, there was a big SEPTA derailment yesterday. It's still affecting trains today. We're going to talk about that. There's a big event going on at Westchester University, international bands from all over the world. If it's happening and it's live, you're going to see it in the next hour and 45 minutes. right, both of our winter teams that play inside that building, the Xfinity Mobile Arena, are making moves right now. Free agency has opened up for the Philadelphia 76ers. And with the draft behind them, the Flyers are also making some moves. There is some talk about some deals with some fan favorites that is on the internet. But as we go back and look at that, we do know, because the Flyers are now putting it out there officially on their social media pages, that they have signed the Darth Vladar, is what we like to call him, Dan Vladar, their goalie, to a 5-year contract extension worth an annual average value of $5.5 million. What's interesting is Vladar has been very complimentary of some of the goalies that are coming into the system. So a lot of people, a lot of fans, sports writers, very excited about that move. Again, there are some other mumblings, I guess I should say, about some of their players also getting extended. As it becomes official, you'll hear about it right here. At the same time, in the city of Philadelphia and the suburbs, commuters are really having to make new plans. That's because yesterday, about 2:21 in the afternoon, the Ben Salem Township Department of Public Safety responded to a train derailment, and it is affecting SEPTA. We do have Andrew Bush with us to kind of walk us through what will be happening for the rest of the day. First of all, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you doing?
I'm great. All right, so talk to me a little bit. I know Bob Kelly this morning was talking about it on Good Day Philadelphia, giving people a bit of a workaround. We are still in a situation where people do need alternate plans, yes?
Yeah, that's right. And so SEPTA, and so just one point I wanted to clarify is SEPTA had its own derailment overnight, and that's what we're working through now. That was on the Manioc Norristown, and so that's forced us today to suspend service on 3 lines: the Norristown line, Fox Chase, and Chestnut Hill East lines, and also have to cut back service on several others. So what we're advising customers to do, they can use on most of our routes. Most of our regional rail lines, they're running, but they're only going to be able to go to either Suburban Station or to Fern Rock Station, and then from there they can complete their trips by using either the B or the L to continue through Center City, or to get back up to that point for the return trip home. So it's going to vary by which line the person needs to use. So what we want to advise them to do is go to our website, septa.org, and we have all the alternates laid out there. And one bit of good news is that we're making progress on the repairs that we have to do, and it's possible that we will have service back before the evening rush to normal. So stay tuned for that as well. We'll put that information out as soon as we have it.
Yeah, because I think right now, the heat, right? People want to get in these trains. They want to walk as little as possible. Obviously, many people are expected to use your services to get into the city this weekend for just a massive 4th of July celebration.
Yeah, that's right, and we've had a great success with our service to the World Cup matches. We're taking close to 30,000 fans to and from those matches.
Andrew,
so we're looking forward. Yep.
Andrew, you'll forgive me.
Yep.
We do have some breaking news. I'm going to step away. We're going to
All
get
right.
the information to the people. I appreciate it. We're going to go live to New York City. Tom, give me a microphone. What is going on here? Okay. Looks like this is a live image of New York City. 2 people climbed, thank you, Tom. 2 people climbed to the top of the Empire State Building. Not just to the top, to the tippity top. Looks like they have some type of a flag with them. We're trying to stay away because we're not sure what that flag says. We want to make sure that it doesn't have inflammatory or swear words or anything on that flag. But both of them are masked, but certainly they are there for a message. We are going to be as careful as possible. We're working with Skyfox out of New York City, our broadcast partner, to bring you this. Again, 2 people are up. What they're on top of, guys, is the Empire State Building. You can see that they clearly climbed up what appears to be some kind of an electrical tower that sits above that building. Many people have seen the terrace that goes around the top floor in movies and that type of thing. What's interesting here is it does look like there are still tourists there. You would think that there would maybe be someone or some authority that would be clearing out the people that are there. Those individuals had to climb, you just saw that a little bit, a ton of windows. So the question is, did anyone see what was going on through their office window? Tough to tell who these people are. You're looking at it live as we're looking at it live. This is all unfolding live. And Sky Fox is spinning around it. I hope you don't get nauseous here. It appears to potentially be a woman and a man. I'm just saying that from what it appears they have on. I do believe that Sky Fox is probably being careful about, oh, look at that. So maybe that is some of their climbing gear at the bottom. Looks like that's what we're looking at the bottom, some kind of climbing gear. I have to believe that Sky Fox is trying to show us these images without showing us what's on the flag, just in case there is some inflammatory. It looks like it says the power of love. Looks like it says something about the power of love. So no swear words there, no inflammatory language. Again, from my eyes, it looks like two people dressed up as Catwoman and Batman, right? I mean, doesn't that? I have a
definitely the Batman mask.
Definitely the bat on her, right?
Yeah.
It appears to be. Wait, is that a villain mask from
Bane?
Bane, thank you. JP's here. He's our Disney expert, which also goes.
DC, it's different. It's Warner
I know
Brothers.
it's a different family. Okay, it looks like it says, when the power of love beats the love of power, the world knows peace. Okay, not inflammatory, no swear words. No one's getting in trouble for putting it on the air. Again, if you're just joining us, it's about 12:17 on the East Coast, and there are two people who have climbed to the top of the Empire State Building for reasons unknown, but they are flying a flag talking about love. So what's really curious to me is the fact that right now we don't see anyone making an attempt to remove them from this. Will there be a helicopter? If this was a movie, and it's not a movie, there would be a firefighter on a helicopter coming to get them, right? But this is not a movie.
It's too unsafe, though.
Too unsafe. Where would you even put a net? Again, look, that's where they have to get back down to.
It's a halfway point.
That's a halfway point on a massive tower that has electrical things in it. I mean, normally I try to be a little bit more astute. I have no experience on this one. I know this. In large cities like New York, Philadelphia, Los Angeles, and beyond, the emergency crews train for every possibility. I know that they train for people who get on different types of buildings and surfaces. So if I had to imagine, I would bet that there is some type of a team that right now is being scrambled into action and is probably looking at the same images that we are showing you. The question is, does this couple have a plan? Do they have a plan to come back down? I am just imagining that when
They don't look like they're wearing parachutes.
they look like they're wearing parachutes, they do not. They do not look like they're wearing parachutes. She's wearing, I don't think that's the dress, I think that's the flag.
Oh,
I think
that's
she's
the-
wearing,
okay.
yeah. I'm talking to JP, our director. I wonder if they have any kind of harness with them. They must be able to hear and see the helicopter. I wonder if there is just one helicopter up there. We know that the airspace in New York City can get rather tight. You can see the water beyond them. Again, this is the Empire State Building, and this appears to be a man and a woman that have climbed all the way to the top. The spinning that you're experiencing is Sky Fox. I wonder if they're doing that for some type of a safety reason, to keep them safe, to keep the people safe. I will say what's interesting is that the flag is flying, meaning like in the wind, but it doesn't look like these people are being affected by a helicopter, either by the noise or by wind, because they're not making any gestures like they would be. As Skyfox pulls back,
Winds are going 7 miles an hour.
7 miles an hour, it's 91 degrees there. You can see that Skyfox certainly isn't on top of the situation, close enough to get some really spectacular views of something that I've never seen before, and I have seen quite a bit doing live television for a long time. What I'm not seeing and what I'm surprised by is any kind of emergency effort. I think when people scale buildings, you immediately see someone trying to remove them. Okay, it looks like they are moving a bit. Are they going to be coming down safely? If you're watching this with us, I want you to know that we are mindful of the fact that this is a very unsafe situation. And we are showing you these images with a lot of care. We are being cautious about what we're showing you and mindful that this is dramatic, to say the least.
They've been up for at least 20 minutes.
They've been up for 20 minutes is what some of our news friends are reporting. So looks like they might have gotten up around 12.
Yeah.
All right, he's stepping around. Is he, and again, I'm using the word he and she, is person in tank top going to attempt to climb down? Can we hear anything? Let's see if we can hear anything. Probably not. Let's see.
By building security or the NYPD in order to address the situation. As you can imagine, many of the ways to access this area are inside of the building before they get to that top of the building where they would then be outside. We were looking a few minutes ago. There are still people out on the observation deck. So at this point, it does not appear that they have been completely evacuated. It's unclear whether they are allowing people to go out and just not permit new people to go out onto the observation decks. But again, there are people still permitted outside. We'll be following this situation, again, trying to determine what type of response the NYPD would be making to this situation. The top of the spire, about 1,300 feet in the air. That's the rough height at the top of this antenna. And we will continue to follow this situation. Cindy?
So again, it appears that that was Skyfox, potentially their pilot, speaking to someone, I would assume, at our affiliate in Fox New York. Again, he was talking about the fact that there are still people on that observation deck. There are still tourists that are there, and that sounded like it was surprising him. But again, if you're just joining us, what you're seeing here is two people on top of the Empire State Building, reasons unknown. Interestingly, JP made a very astute observation. It does feel a little bit like when there was people who did a high wire walk across a building, again, a walk that was not, they didn't have permission for that. I am, if you hear me talking a little abruptly, I'm trying to get some information so I can get it to you now. But again, what's interesting is the pilot did say that there's some type of area that emergency personnel should be scrambling to get to. And it sounded like he too was surprised that we're not seeing that. It sounded like he too was surprised that people are still allowed on that observation deck. Again, they're not even looking up. That's so interesting to me. They may not know what's happening above. Okay, there's one person looked up, but the bulk of them are simply not looking up. I'm not sure if that's because they can't see. I mean, they have to be able to. They can't see it?
There's no way.
The outline of the building
Because
protects,
it's
yeah.
going in.
So these people that are on that observation deck, many of them most of them probably have no idea what's happening above them. Social media, right. They probably, maybe if someone said, hey, Jen, I'm heading to the Empire State Building at noon, someone might be texting them. Now you see a drone. We do know that police officers use drones. For a drone to be that high, I'm saying maybe that could be a law enforcement drone. Chris O'Connell has done a lot of reporting on how they're using drones to, solve crimes, get a hold of things. It's interesting. The light there now is blinking red, where their feet are.
Well, those are designed for
That's for air traffic control, weather, to see if they can see. But that wasn't going red before. I wonder if that's giving a signal to helicopters or other air people that might be in the air. So what's interesting is they've been up there now 26 minutes, we think. We think they went up right about at noon. And what's really interesting is they're not coming down. They don't look like they're coming down. You would think that if there's, part of their sign, they're talking about love, you would think that maybe they care about whoever it is that has to come rescue them. And you would think that showing the love might mean they could come on down, hopefully safely, as they went right up. I have a prediction. You're going to be talking about this for days and maybe weeks to come. I wish we had TMZ with us, because they typically have the inside track with law enforcement and that type of thing. Let's go down and see what Skyfox is searching for. Potentially there is some type of emergency personnel. Let's listen in, see if he's talking again.
We're just moving around towards 34th Street and 5th Avenue. For the moment, I'm just going to bring the camera back up to the top of the building, and if we get another peek down at the streets below, I'll bring the camera back over there. That is correct. That is right. They've basically been standing at the position that they are right now, the top of that spire. As I mentioned, probably about 10 after 12 or so. We did see one person climb down to a lower area. We were hoping that they were beginning the process of climbing off the spire altogether to that platform that's maybe about 25 to 30 feet below where they are now. That person, after a minute or two, climbed back up to the top again, and that is where both people currently are, again, at the top of the spire next to that banner.
So again, what we're hearing from our news partners, as well as what I want to explain what that, I think he's either the chopper pilot or the chopper reporter up there. Sounds like they put the flag up, and at some point it looked like they were climbing back down. So I think that could be a reason why maybe emergency personnel didn't rush to go up, because initially it looked like they were coming back down. Now it does not look like that. What's also interesting, I'm just going to say it. Do they have a phone up there? Like, they haven't reached into their pocket. They're definitely holding on to the spire. So the question is,
doesn't look like they're doing a selfie, right?
They're not doing a selfie or anything like that. They're really all about the message. I did get information. Someone said that when they do the red light, it means danger. It gives out a danger signal to other aircraft. Not sure if that's correct or not. But that is what I've heard, again, via text from law enforcement. If you're just joining us, it's 12:30 on a Wednesday, and there are two people who have climbed to the top of the Empire State Building, and we don't know why. Now we have one person who looks like, and again, we just from their clothing, we think that we think it's a man and a woman. The red light, according to the internet, is serves as an FAA mandated aviation beacon to warn low-flying aircraft of the skyscraper's height. It basically functions as a safety light for planes and helicopters. All right, so it looks like one of the people could be coming down. I have a couple other questions. I wonder if they even knew. Is he going back up? Maybe he put something down there to help her get down. I have no idea. I wonder if they knew what the top of that looked like specifically, because I don't know how to climb anything. I am no climbing expert, but it does appear that the way that it is, there's stuff to hold on to with your hands and your feet. So I wonder if they knew that that is what the top of this spire looked like, and that they knew that there would be things to hold on to. Or if they just kept climbing and they were able to get up there. We also have to say this. These two are going to be in big trouble. They are not going to be well received by the people who eventually will have to rescue them. Even if they climb down, the people that will have to rescue them will have to put themselves in harm's way to get them to safety. And remember, they're not just putting first responders in harm's way, they're not just putting themselves in harm's way, they are putting anyone else in the area at risk. She's flying the flag. It is interesting to me why it looks like it's spinning when we get up close. Looks like there's between a $250 and $1,000 violation. It looks like it's a Class A misdemeanor to be up there. But sometimes, even though we start with that, you know, if there's a great cost or expense or risk to get them down safely, I'm sure some other charges potentially could be levied. Again, if you're watching us and you just popped over, I'm Jen Frederick. This is Philadelphia Live. We're going to be with you live until 2 p.m. And right here, what you're looking at is a live camera of two people who have climbed to the top of the Empire State Building, and we don't know why. They are flying a flag that talks about the power of love and world peace. They do appear to be wearing, like a Catwoman and a Batman type mask. Not sure if they're doing that to conceal their identity or if they felt they needed this for safety, or a little bit of both, as they made this trek up to the top, the very, very top of the Empire State Building. So again, I'm using, man and woman. It looks like the man is coming back down again. All right, his knees are down. He's done this a couple times. I wonder if he might be trying to turn off the light. I wonder if they can feel that, if it's hot. It could be very hot. It's a 91 degree day. Okay, look at that. All right, now we see a helicopter. All right, this is a new development. That helicopter looks very close to what is happening here live. The question, and it does say NYPD. Okay. It's going to get interesting. Let's listen in. All right, so again, we have been waiting to see if emergency response. Okay, are they packing up the flag? Looks like they're packing up the flag. They are. Is that the lowest they've? No, that's the. He's been to the.
She's been.
That's the lowest she's been. Looks like they're coming down.
Part of me wonders if the cops are on the observation deck already. Like, where are
Probably.
they at?
Again, we know that this is dangerous. We are showing you this with care. And we want to make sure that you are watching this with us and we're keeping everyone safe and all of that. I want to be really clear about that. This is a live camera and we're here to report what's happening. We're here to watch this along with you guys. But clearly there is some risk involved, not only with them getting up there, but certainly with them getting down. It's interesting that they're climbing at different times and that he's going first. Maybe he is going to help her get from platform to platform. It doesn't look like they have any type of, oh, please don't jump, hop, I should say. It doesn't look like they have any type of harness or rigging of any kind, which is interesting. It does appear that she at least has on some gloves. I'm wondering what type of footwear they have on. You have to imagine that this was, by them, they consider themselves well planned. So you have to wonder what type of footwear and all the rest of it is making it so they are able to climb and then come back down safely. Again, it's 12:37 on a Wednesday. I'm Jen Frederick. This is Philadelphia Live. And one of the things that we do every day at this time is show you what is happening in our country live. Certainly Philadelphia is a focus. New York City is our big city neighbor to the north. And this is what is happening there. We have two people who appear to be coming down from climbing onto the top, and I do mean the top of the Empire State Building. I really am not sure why it appears via our live camera that their helicopter is spinning. I don't know if that's just what it looks like when they get up close and they're up in the air. Not an aviation expert, certainly not a climbing expert, just watching all of this along with all of you.
This has a ladder.
Oh, that does have a
Looks like
ladder.
this has a formal
So this will
step.
make it hopefully easier.
Yeah.
She's having some trouble there. Okay, looks like she's okay. What's interesting is oh no, he appears to be going down with ease. We can't hear them, obviously, so we have no idea if they're communicating. If I was in this situation, I would certainly be asking some questions of my partner there. But again, we also want to be very clear. These people are up there. There was a flag they were flying for quite some time. Looks like, is he coming up to help her? Looks like he might be coming up to help her. Let's listen in and see if Chopper's talking. All right, looks like he was able to help her get to where she needed to be to get on some, he's going awfully quickly. It does look like there is some type of a ladder, which is hopefully making it easier. I also want to say this, remember, they had to climb all the way up there. So making it easier is a bad way to say that, right? These people have to be exhausted. No matter what their training or preparation may be. You see another drone there. They must be exhausted from the climb up. There has to be a certain amount of stress involved, knowing that you're doing this. Even if you planned it, even if you wanted to be a part of this, there must be a certain amount of stress. And so I have to believe their muscles, again, even if they prepared for it, are beginning to get weaker. Now we do see, it looks like they are clearing the observation area of the Empire State Building. You know, this is a busy week for tourism, for people to be in Philadelphia, obviously, New York City. 4th of July, just days away. The Empire State Building was probably a pretty popular spot today, not just because of that, but because it's air conditioned, right? And up there it might feel a little bit cooler. All right, what is interesting to me is we don't see that NYPD helicopter anymore. Again, it could be out there, but the view that we have is singular and narrow and focused. So we may not be able to see it at this point. All right, it looks like he is at some part. Now remember, as they come down, the landing areas get wider. The areas where they can be, where they can stay, where they can remain, if someone wanted to come up to get them, the task of rescue gets easier. Are there people in there? No. There are no people in there. That remains puzzling to me. That, okay, so both of them appear to be at a wider landing. I don't want to use the word safer landing because they are literally on top of the world. Let's listen in and see if Chopper's saying anything. Wait a minute. Is he proposing?
Oh my God,
He is proposing to her, is what this looks like.
Oh my gosh.
This is
Wow.
really surprising. This, until these people are down safe, until the rescue personnel is safe, we can't celebrate, right? There is no cause for. He's proposing, yeah. All right, and she's okay. This is really surprising to me. Again. All right. Two people have climbed up to the top of the Empire State Building. They flew a flag about world peace and love, and on a lower platform, he has now proposed to her. She took her mask off. He has not taken his mask off. Again, we're hopeful that not only these two people get down safely, but we are hopeful that whoever is in charge of rescuing them gets down safely. All right, now this is interesting. Remember, it looked like there was like a bag on that level. I wonder if there is a harness at this level. And I really do wonder what that conversation is like. Ladies and gentlemen, we're watching this right along with all of you. Right along. Please don't step out there. Okay. There is a camera. We wondered if there was any type of just to be clear, if there are young people watching this is one of the most dangerous things we've ever seen. This will be talked about on the news. It will be talked about on social media. I have no doubt people will be watching this all over the world, but I do want people to know just how risky all of this is. This is very, very dangerous and unsafe.
No, we're not.
At the same time, just unbelievable. We'd asked the question, you know, do they have a phone up there? I don't think they had a phone at the top. I just have never seen anything like this in my whole entire life. I'm curious, and now while we watch this, I am going to look at social media because I am sure that many of you are reacting and responding to this. in so many ways. It's going to be really interesting to see what people have to say about this. Interestingly, on my social media feed, which you know is kind of the algorithm, really goes with what you follow. Mine is all hockey trades, so not a lot about what is happening there. Again, if you're just watching us, if you're just flipping over, we have two people, appears to be a man and a woman, who have climbed to the top of the Empire State Building. They were there for about a half an hour. The woman had on a Catwoman mask. The man is still in some type of a mask. And it appears as though they got engaged. And after they did that, it appears as though she took a selfie. Our concern is this: making sure that they get home, get down safely, making sure that the people who have to rescue them are not harmed, not hurt in any way. She's definitely taking a picture of her ring finger way up top. I wish we had an Empire State Building construction expert, because I wonder if these two people, here's some questions I would ask if we had an expert. Do we think they work there? Do we think they work in the building to know? The light has to be replaced every so often is what JP's saying. So they could be the climbers that work there, that know the rigging, know how to get up there, know how to get out. They're in the center. They're in more of a cage. This appears to be a safer exit than how they went up. So it does look like there's some kind of a cage that will keep, hopefully, them as safe as they can be, because once again, they have climbed to the very top of the Empire State Building. They flew a flag talking about peace, talking about love. And then when they both got down to a lower, wider area, it looked like he proposed to her, there was a kiss, and then there was a selfie. So yeah, it is interesting. I wonder how that light bulb is replaced. So if there's crews that do that, are these the type of people, and maybe that is something that happens and you work for an outside company, like it's a contracted job, not sure. But the question is, they certainly know a significant amount about what it would take to do this. They do not, and again, we're looking at them through a helicopter, they don't appear to be nervous in any way. They seem to be doing this with joy. And again, as I say that, if there are young people who are watching, this is really, really dangerous. Very risky, not a good idea. We know that the fines start at $1,000 per person. It will be interesting to hear what it is, if anything. What's going on there? Okay. Oh, it looks like we have, okay. Thank you to Leanna, one of our producers. They are professional climbers. They do this all over the world. And she's wearing a Catgirl mask in her Instagram profile picture. So it looks like, okay, in 2024 at least, there was a Netflix movie about them called Skywalkers, a love story. So this is what they're called roof hoppers. And apparently they do illegally climb buildings all over the world. This is why you work with some of the most talented people in the country. Thank you very much, very, very much to Leanna for getting us there. It looks like they have, in jeans, climbed very, very high and done like a advertising campaign for Diesel where they're kind of making out. Okay, Tyler, the pilot is talking. Let's listen in.
And the NYPD or other agencies would actually come from within the building. There's still official access up through the inside of the building to get up to this top area for the antenna.
So again, we have found the Instagram for Angela, who's one of the two of these people. She describes herself as a neo-artist exploring identity, fear, and freedom. She says, my dream is to push the boundaries of what is acceptable in art. So that's interesting. So it looks like, again, that these two have been the focus of a Netflix movie about getting on top of buildings illegally and doing this. All right, what's interesting, 2 days ago, she posted, today I'm celebrating my birthday. And it does look like she's in New York City on the top of a very extreme, on top of a building, for sure. I guess they know what they're about to face when someone does, it looks like, is that people going up? It does look like now we have people going up. There's definitely authorities going up. See them in there? Yeah. If you're just watching us, 2 people climbed to the very, very top of the Empire State Building. They flew a flag. And then they got engaged on one of the platforms and took a picture of it. We believe that this woman is this person that has over 1 million followers that calls herself a roof hopper on her Instagram. If this is the person, we do think this is what they do. They climb buildings illegally. What's interesting is that Netflix has made a movie about the couple, if it's the same couple, and we believe that it is the same couple. It's the same mask. It's the same body physique on both of them. And it's such a rare thing to see that we do believe that it could be the same couple that we're talking about. So certainly they have done this before. In their Instagram, it does look like there are several buildings in New York that they have climbed. So I wonder if the police in New York, if the authorities there are familiar with this couple. You gotta believe that they are. They do this all the time in New York. What's interesting is when you look at who's following them, people like Hilaria Baldwin and many other people, they talk about the fact that they are scared at times, but that's part of the rush. Again, that's what was said in a Netflix movie made about this couple who we believe we're watching right here. So again, authorities, it does appear, have gone up there. We are not really sure what charges they may or may not face in all of this. All of this started at about noon today. So they were up on the top, the very, very top, for about 20 minutes. At first, it looked like they were just going to hang that flag up there, but the both of them were up there for quite some time. All right, we're going to show you the Instagram page. This is who we think we're looking at. I'm going to say we think because the images are similar in terms of what she looks like, and this is a couple that does this same mask, same look as a couple. So as we investigate exactly what is happening, we think this is who we are looking at, that there are these 2 people, that this is who they might be. So it's just who we think it is. So we'll take this back full. And again, now what we're looking at is members of New York Police Department have climbed up through the middle to get them down safely. And remember, even now, way up there, even though there are, four sides of it and they appear to be inside, everything's a risk. Everything you're watching is a risk, and it is dangerous beyond examination. It is just something that you do not think you are going to see in a lifetime. It does appear that's her coming down now. Originally, when they were climbing, he was coming down, and it appeared at one point that he was coming down to help her if she had a hiccup in any way, and to guide her. But again, it doesn't look like they had any type of harness, safety apparatus, nothing at all. And if it does prove to be this couple, it will be interesting to see, if the New York Police Department and other authorities have anything to say about the fact that they have been, celebrated in movies. They've been celebrated in commercial advertising campaigns. You have to wonder what's being said right there, rescuer to climber. I'm not sure you could put handcuffs on someone because you need her to be able to climb back down. And you wonder how far up those rescuers have to go. Yeah. So again, we think this is who we're looking at. We've done a fair amount of research. The mask is the same. The types of buildings are the same. It's a couple like this. So a little bit of research going on the internet. This is who we think is up there. We're not sure. But again, the body type, physically, this is what these two look like. And we don't know of any other couple that is doing this. But you see, it's hard to separate, but I encourage you to do so. I encourage you to separate the beauty of these unbelievable pictures that they've taken, that they have posted on social media. I want you to separate that from the true harrowing, life-altering rescue that's happening live, just in front of your eyes. There are people up there rescuing two people that, again, this is their art. We are a community, we are a society that recognizes art, and I think many people, if you saw these images on the internet, you might stop and say, these are stunning images, without thinking about the cost. And the cost, as we go back here and really look at what's happening, the cost is that some people had to go up there and rescue them and get them down safely. Because at the end of the day, getting them down safely is the task. And also getting down the emergency first responders, they have to get down safely too. Remember, they have families they want to go back to. Certainly a significant amount of training goes into working as being a New York City police officer, and that's what it looks like we have here. I'm sure this is some kind of highly specialized squad that has trained for this, but it doesn't mean that it's risk-free. I would imagine, I think we saw a couple of them had on helmets. I would imagine they also have on a harness. They're on the inside of this. The question is, with the platform there, do they stay inside, or do those rescuers and the climbers have to then go back outside on that platform? It does look like there might be a ladder. Does it look like there's a ladder right there? So maybe they'll stay inside,
Yeah.
as opposed to being on the outside.
You see, like, where that cop is
Yep.
right now?
It does look like the police officer is holding onto a ladder. It's just unbelievable what we are watching. And Skyfox and all of the aircraft that are up there bringing this to us, that's not risk-free either. We know that they do it as safe as possible. They do it better than anyone. But I'm not sure they had this on their bucket list today either. Remember when the helicopters, there you go, there's another NYPD chopper. when they go up, you know, they don't always have a ton of fuel, and they have to balance work hours, flying hours, you know, their fatigue, and how much fuel they have not only in their bodies, but you know, in the aircraft, with making sure they get these images that are just stunning. Not sure we'll see this again for a very long time. Ladies and gentlemen, if you've just joined us, it's 1 o'clock straight up. My name's Jen Frederick. This is a show we call Philadelphia Live, and we've got a bunch of people in here helping us make sure that this happens. We've got JP and Chris certainly producing and directing, and then we've got producers in our newsroom making sure we get all the information that we need. Two people about an hour ago climbed to the top of the Empire State Building, and they were on a spire. They were really on just a piece of a tower, like a pole, if you will, holding on. And at some point they did have a flag, and the flag had messaging about world peace and love. And the woman at the time had on like a Catgirl mask, and the man looked to be dressed a little bit like Batman without the cape. Since that time, they have climbed down, and we have been doing a little investigation on who these people might be, and we do think it's these two people that do this and get paid by Netflix and get paid by different advertising campaigns to take really extreme pictures. Let's see if the chopper in New York is saying anything.
Little under half hours, maybe say 25.
All right, so juggling a lot of things today, just so everyone knows, we are managing what's happening here in the city of Philadelphia. We have been told Mayor Parker will have a press conference at some point, maybe as early as 2 o'clock. We're not sure what she will have to say, but we do know that the heat in Philadelphia is affecting so many things. At the same time, you guys are looking at it, we're looking at it. Two people climbed to the top of the Empire State Building. They're now climbing down after scaling the top of the Empire State Building, and they're coming down in the company of some first responders. I'm not really going to say they're being helped by them, because at this point I think they're just kind of all climbing together. You have to believe the people that are climbing down with them, the authorities are there to do two things: make sure that they're getting down there safe, and potentially arrest them when all of this ends. Some of the observations we had early in this is that they didn't clear the observation tower as quickly as they might for some other people. The other question is, because it looks like these two, a couple who looks like they got engaged during our show, congratulations, they are likely known to the authorities. So I wonder if that played into anything, if that the fact that they know who these people are was part of the strategy on how they went up there to make sure they got down there safer. We've mentioned this, and it bears repeating. When there is a stunt like this, the people doing the stunt put a lot of families at risk. Their own families who might be questioned about what's going on or might be scrambling to get them. And then the families of the first responders, and in this case, potentially the families of the tourists that might have been affected, or the people that live in New York City that might be affected. You know, if all else goes amazing, as we hope, the other side of it is these officers that are responding could have been somewhere else helping another emergency that maybe was accidental, not intentional. So there will be plenty of conversations in the hours to come about this and how to maybe prevent it in the future. Not sure how you could have prevented this. What is interesting to me, and I hope that at some point we do see Skyfox pull out again a little bit, is I think there was like a ton of windows between the observation deck and that they must have like climbed by. By no means have I done anything like this. I have rappelled down 2 different skyscrapers in the city of Philadelphia, and I can tell you when I was rappelling down, again, with the use of a company and rigs that was safe and tested and true, the people in the windows as we rappelled definitely knew what we were doing. It was similar to when you have a window washer on the outside of your building. You definitely know someone's there. So see what I'm talking about? There's like that circle thing with a bunch of windows. They must have climbed past that, right? I don't know. I don't know what that is at the top. Isn't there like a top of the tower type of a thing in New York City? They call it the Spire. Is there a restaurant up there? I mean, like this circle thing with the windows, it looks like. Like, I wonder if they had to, or maybe they went in through. I have no idea. I will tell you one thing. I am unsure about a lot. I am sure that I have never been up this high on any building, nor would I want to be. Oh, Chopper's talking. Let's listen in.
The 2 other people may have. It was hard to distinguish that it was definitely them, but based on the fact that the police officers went down into that internal part of the building, we have not seen any more movement. It does appear that they have them inside the building, or at least the portion of the building that is inside. What would be normal in a situation like this? The police would, number one, approach the people. They would probably do a check of them to make sure they had no weapons or anything else on them, advise them of what was happening, and then give them protective equipment. You heard John describe how they would have to take classes and wear protective gear and the harnesses. The police department would have brought additional equipment for those people to wear to come back down. They wouldn't just rely solely on their abilities that they used to get up to the top of the spire. They would give them protective equipment to climb back down, but that does appear to be the case. We have not seen any movement. We're not seeing anybody else here within the top portion of the structure that's exposed to the outside. So it does appear that everybody is now inside of the building.
All right, so again, it sounds like everyone is inside of that building. Again, they were, you heard the police officer talking a little bit about the fact that he was wondering if they had any weapons on them. It's one of the questions that, of course, they have to ask because they want to make sure that everyone is safe. So again, if you're just joining us, 2 people climbed down after climbing up to the top of the Empire State Building. They look like they got proposed, or she was proposed to. They definitely kissed. We saw a selfie both of the imagery of where she was and the ring against the backdrop of being up there. And then we do know that that's what's happening. Let's listen in to the chopper one more time.
Closer look. Everything has been removed, but that is where they were standing earlier. Not only with the banner, but 2 people standing on those very 2 top rungs of the antenna.
So just so you guys know, we're going to stay on this. At this point, we do think everyone got down safely, so that's good. But we're still very curious about what is happening. So as long as Skyfox in New York is up, we're going to stay with this. We have to believe you guys are just as curious as we are about how the rest of this goes down. Will they be brought outside somehow? Will it all be inside? There's so many questions, just so many questions. So that's what I was talking about. Do we think those are windows in there? Do we think that's a restaurant of some kind? Because I wonder if people did see them going up, or if they just went up, you know, did they go up on the inside as they're coming down on the inside? That's actually probably how it worked, if I think about it. Because remember, we haven't seen them because we've been told that they're inside there. So I wonder if they somehow got up into there and then no one was really looking because they're hard to see.
Yes.
All right.
Exclusive observation
There's an
balcony.
exclusive observation balcony on the 103rd floor. So it's located well above the standard public decks on the 86th. I'm sorry, yeah, and the 102nd floor. Apparently, the secret balcony is a narrow, 2-foot wide outdoor catwalk with only knee-high railing. All right. It's off limits to the general public, and it's reserved for VIPs, celebrities, and dignitaries. So you have to believe that's what happened. That, again, we have not been told by anyone. But if now that we're kind of piecing it together with you guys as we watch as they were like brought down inside, they probably went up inside.
It's probably an elevator shaft.
Maybe an elevator shaft. Yeah. Are you walking? Probably not. So yeah, an elevator shaft got them up there, and they figured out how to get on that super exclusive secret observation deck, and then just went climbing from there. I wonder what their day from here looks like, what the charges will be. And if they've pulled this off, what's stopping them from any other structure in the world? I would have to believe, just with the wire there and what they had to climb, this has to be one of the most challenging things that anyone could do in the whole world. We know Sydney, Australia has some pretty tall buildings, but this, just with the spire, the steeple, all of that, just remember, this is not a new building either, right? I mean, it's some of those buildings that we think of that are high-rise buildings, they are new. And so we understand that they might be easier to climb. We don't recommend that at all. Again, if you or anyone at home that is thinking that, you know, this is exciting, that's not the message we're trying to give today. We're trying to let you know that everyone in this room, and I'm sure everyone involved in this situation, is very happy that it appears that everyone got down safely. We certainly were mindful of that when we had these live images up. We wanted to bring you this story in a safe and responsible way. I'm so thankful that we were able to do that. Beyond thankful that it appears everyone involved, including the rescue teams, the people that were at the observation deck, it appears everyone will be safe after this. But again, ideal, but not guaranteed. I wonder what the conversation was going up, and then the conversation coming back down between the two of them. it did appear that she needed a bit of help for a brief moment. That would scare the heck out of me. The whole thing is just beyond terrifying. I think to most people, you don't need a issue with heights, a fear of heights, to be really nervous about something like that. You know, in New York City, in the Hudson Yards area, they do have a climbing experience. It's called The Edge, and they do harness you, and it's nothing compared to this. But there is a group of people that want that extreme experience. Today, that man and woman got an extreme experience. Let's listen in and see if they're saying anything. What's interesting is that when it was happening, there was a lot of boats there in the water. At one side of it, I think, is the Hudson River. I could be wrong. That were definitely watching it, and it looked like it was easier for them to see what was happening as opposed to the people that were literally on the Empire State Building. We talked about it. The footprint works where basically the footprint was wide enough, or the people who were on the observation deck at the same time as the people climbing probably didn't know that it was happening up there just because of the width of that. If you're just watching, if you're just tuning in, just visiting us now, we're looking at an image of the Empire State Building because two people who we believe are the same couple that is pretty famous on Instagram for climbing high-risk buildings, two people definitely climbed to the top. They did come down on their own power, and then there were authorities that got up in there. The parts of this tower where there was like a cage, for lack of a better definition, so they were protected on four sides, but they were at risk, and then they got them back down. That red light right there is basically where they were standing, what they were holding on to, and you really see just how narrow it is. So again, this is the woman that we think is the woman in the couple. We think this because their body looks like this. You see that she's wearing like a Catgirl mask right there in one of the images. She was wearing that when she was climbing today. And they appear to be invested in climbing these tall buildings to take these videos and to take these pictures that are clearly stunning. And I was saying earlier, you want to, you know what, let's go to Skyfox and see if something's happening there. Oh, I guess they're letting people back out. Now you have to wonder, do these people know what happened? Because they are still not looking up. But it does appear that they are letting, I'm calling them tourists. I guess I should use the word visitor. They're letting those people out on the observation deck. That observation deck, I think we read, is about at the 85th floor. And then where we think the people were beginning their climb, 86th. Beginning their climb was like 105th, and then they definitely climbed from there. So Chopper's talking. Let's listen in.
Closed off and evacuated at some point during this incident. It began about 12 o'clock or just before 12 o'clock. Two people climbing to the very top of the spire, the antenna on the top of the Empire State Building. They approached the top, or climbed to the top, and hung out a banner. They were up there for at least a half hour before eventually climbing down. We did see NYPD personnel, those units specially trained in high-angle rescues, make their way up into the antenna area as well. It did appear they eventually came down with any type of incident, and again, they are currently in police custody. Back to you.
So again, they call it a high angle rescue. That's what the chopper pilot from Skyfox in New York was calling it, a high angle rescue. You do wonder where they train for this type of thing. We know that in Lititz, Pennsylvania, the rigging there, the national tours kind of, the touring artists go there to train to be up on a rig. This is up on a rig times 200, literally, because we think it's about 150 floors up there. So that is really, really high. The good news is it does appear that the couple that climbed up there is safe. It does appear that the NYPD members who are charged with high angle rescues, that they appear to have gotten down safe. We do think that they're inside the building at this point, if you're wondering why you can't see anything too much. But the chopper pilot up there in New York did talk about the fact that they do regularly evacuate that terrace, evacuate the observation deck that is at the 86th floor. So there are issues. Certainly weather would be one of them, and then something like this, very rare, but it's not uncommon for that deck, that observation deck, to be evacuated. So again, 2 different people went up to the top as a couple. It appeared to be a man and a woman, and then as they came down and got on one of the wider areas where they could both stand on basically a platform, looks like he proposed and had a ring in his bag and gave her a wedding ring. Again, I talk about safety. Can you imagine if he dropped that ring? But it looks like she has it. All right, we're going to take a 2-minute break, and we're going to be right back. You think that's so? Welcome back, everybody. If you've been with us since noon, we've had quite an hour and a half. So there was a couple that climbed to the top of the Empire State Building. We do believe that they're a famous couple. They do this for images. They flew a flag. There's still a live camera there, but we do believe the couple and their rescuers are inside the Empire State Building. You do see there the observation deck on the 86th floor has been reopened. At the same time, here in the city of Philadelphia, this is the beginning of a very serious heat wave. It's going to be going on, triple digits, feels like temperature, even more than that for the next couple of days. We are expecting the mayor of Philadelphia. She is going to have a press conference sometime at 2 or thereafter. Because of the weather, because so many events are happening, we do believe that plans for the weekend will be discussed. Again, we don't know what she's going to say exactly, but when you look at this, and then when you look at the fact that the heat will build, you have to believe she will probably have something to say about the events of the weekend, even if it isn't the focus of her press conference. So again, Mayor Parker, expect her soon. We're on top of that story as well. We also have Greg Payne out there in it as we speak, just talking about the heat wave and how the effects could be and are being impacted. Greg, how you doing?
Yeah, Jen, I'm out. I'm in it. Mark's in it, the photographer. It is not fun because it is very hot out here. Now, I will say the humidity isn't too bad. I think that's the only thing that's the saving grace. And there's a couple of wind gusts that tend to happen every once in a while. But you can see we're parked under this large tree because we're trying to get some cover from the heat. But I got to tell you, the heat has not stopped anybody really from doing all the activities that they probably had planned. We went over to the Rocky Steps. There were people that were over there. There was actually a family from Atlanta that showed up, and their son, he's a diehard Rockies fan, or a Rocky fan. And so he was like, you know what? I want to go up there and I want to run the steps. I want to take my picture in front of Rocky. So that wasn't stopping them. We had went on over to Hoagie Fest, the Hoagie Showdown, whatever you want to call it, for Wawa. And Jen, I got to tell you, that was absolutely insane. The line was extremely long to the point where I wouldn't have been surprised if it made it all the way to our building on 4th and Market as people were just wrapped around the area throughout Independence Mall just trying to get their hands on those hoagies. And then, of course, when they got the hoagies, they immediately went on over to the shade and started eating. But they had a lot of precautionary measures there. They had fans that had like the little misters on there. And you saw a lot of folks making sure that they were staying hydrated and protecting themselves because it is a very, very humid one. And then we went on over to Dilworth Park, right in front of, right next to City Hall. And there were a lot of kids that were running around in the little splash pad, having a good time, you know, collecting some water in their little cups and just throwing it around and having a blast. So, I mean, people are doing what they want to do regardless of this heat, but people are being mindful. You are seeing them drinking their water and things like that, making sure that they stay hydrated and stay under the shade as much as possible.
What are you guys doing, Greg? What are you and Mark doing? Do you have extra water with you? Are you trying to be in the car with the air conditioning as much as possible?
Yeah, so actually, yeah, I mean, Mark and I apologize because I'm going to show this, and I hope it doesn't mess up the view that you have, but you could already see this is my collection of bottles. No. I've already went through these, and I got a little bit of the water that's left, but it's been kind of a constant thing. Mark finished his Gatorade. He has a cooler in the back, so he has some more water that he's going to be drinking, but that's the thing that we've been doing, staying hydrated, trying to stay cool. And to be honest, Mark was like, because I sweat profusely, and even at the Hoagie Fest, I felt bad because people were trying to take pictures, and like they have a picture of me just like absolutely drenched. And so Mark was saying, do you want to do this live hit inside the vehicle? And I was like, I can't do it because Jen's going to give me a hard time. But you know what, Jen? I am going to get in the vehicle because I know you would give me a hard time, but at least maybe you'll give me a little bit of credit because I was out here for all this time. And then now I decided to hop in the vehicle.
It's good. It's good. Listen, we mess around a lot, but I want you to be safe. I want you to, I want you to be cool. I want all that stuff. I'll make fun of you in the days and weeks to come. You stay safe and be good in there. I do think we have.
All right, thanks, Dad.
Okay, you bet. Where are we going, Chris? It sounds like we do have another picture on one of our live cameras coming out of New York. Again, we've been following the story basically for about an hour and a half. Is that the fire department there? We're trying to figure out exactly what is going on. You do need to know this, that there is going to be oppressive heat in this region for the next couple of days. And so we don't know exactly if the mayor is going to talk about that, but we do know that the mayor of Philadelphia is scheduled to do a press conference. When she does it, we'll have it here. We might have it on Fox 29 as well. We're going to take a quick break and be right back. All right, so we're looking at Independence Mall just because we know we have a lot happening in and around the city of Philadelphia all weekend long. We also know that the weather is going to be nothing short of oppressive. We were just talking to Greg and his photographer. You've seen it's 1:30. They're in an air-conditioned car, and they've already gone through several different bottles of water. At the same time, we do have Larry Krasner, the district attorney of Philadelphia. He's speaking live.
Thank you for the question. We do not comment on whether or not family members or others are cooperating in an ongoing investigation.
And then is there any prior arrest history for these two juveniles?
No comment at this time in light of various aspects of the Juvenile Act. I'm not saying they do. I'm not saying they don't. I'm saying no comment at this time. I have commented as to the adult, which is unquestionably proper. All right, let me see. Mensa Dean, the Trace. Do you have any questions, sir?
Yeah, a few. Which of these suspects do you believe was the gunman?
The information that we have tends to indicate that Kasim Smith is the shooter in this case.
Okay. Now that we have a gun as well.
Just so you guys know what case he's talking about, it's the two people that are accused of killing a Penn State senior in South Philadelphia. It happened in front of that senior's house. There was video where it looked like someone had asked him for his phone, got his phone, and he was trying to get it back. That's the case he's talking about.
Would you charge them as adults or juveniles?
So let me answer that in two ways. First of all, the charges that are provided with the warrant are the presumptive charges. They're not the final charges, although I expect in this case they will be identical when the case initiates. There is always the opportunity to amend charges later, reduce or increase the number of charges. That happens routinely and may or may not happen in this case. Both Kasim Smith, who is 16, and Azubair Auten Fleming, who is 16, will be charged as adults at the beginning of their case at least, and that is because that's the law. When you are a minor and you are charged with homicide, those cases always initiate in adult court, and then any decisions about the cases are made afterward.
Isn't it your office that files the motion to try them as adults?
There is no motion necessary in order to initiate homicide charges in adult court. In fact, we are required by law to initiate charges in adult court for homicide for juveniles.
Is it your wish or your intention to prosecute them as adults?
Initially, for sure, but those are determinations that we do not make until later. And, among other factors, we need to have a full understanding of the case, a comprehensive history of the defendants. I intend to give the survivor or any survivors full input with me about their thoughts on the case, and we will follow the facts and apply the law as we deem appropriate.
Finally, these are 16-year-olds. They don't have passports. They don't have cars. They can't have very much money. Do you have any idea where they could see how far they could have gotten with limited resources that they might have?
Well, consistent with my statement that there's a small picture and a big picture, the answer is yes, I do.
Go ahead.
And the answer is no, I won't. I do actually have, and I say that respectfully, we do actually have some specific information about at least one possible location, but it would not be in the best interest of their apprehension for me to say that at this time.
Do you think they're together?
No comment on that. All right. Last but never least, Mr. Cipriano. By the way, it was good to see you on the street in a neighborhood I won't identify because I want to preserve your privacy, and I appreciate your welcoming me to that neighborhood when we, by chance, cross paths on the street.
The least I could do. Paul George was disbarred in federal court. Nancy Winkleman had her law license suspended for 3 years in federal court. According to 5.1 and 8.3 of the Pennsylvania Rules for Professional Conduct for Lawyers, for regarding responsibilities of supervisory lawyers and reporting professional misconduct. You're required to report.
So the DA has a contentious relationship with Ralph Cipriano, who's a reporter. They go back and forth. That's kind of the end of what you were listening to. We still have our eyes on what's happening in New York City. We do have a ground shot via TikTok from our sister affiliate WNYW. At the same time, we are watching the President of the United States. He has just landed in North Dakota. We're going to listen into what he has to say and maybe do a double box with the ground shot. So it looks like the camera person who was covering the president set their camera down. We are working on a couple of different things. We want to bring you every story that is happening. At the same time, let's take a look at that camera shot real quick, actually, so we can see what's happening right there. So this is our sister affiliate, WNYW, in New York City. This is what we call a ground shot. They're down below. What are we expecting? We are expecting the two people who climbed to the top of the Empire State Building to be brought out. And we do expect them to be brought out by authorities. They will be in trouble for doing this. What type of trouble, we don't really know. At the same time, we're also watching what's happening in Medora, North Dakota, where the president is participating in the Theodore Roosevelt Presidential Library opening ceremony. All of that's happening, and we've got teams right here in the Philadelphia region working for you as well. Chris O'Connell is in Wilmington for us. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Jen. We were here all morning talking to city council members. It has been a very sensitive and touchy subject over the past week. It is all surrounding the police shooting death of 19-year-old Kadir Skinner. That 19-year-old was shot last Thursday night when police arrived to a large gathering near the corner of 19th, or at the corner of 24th and Jessup Streets in the city of Wilmington. Shortly after, according to a police press release, Kadir Skinner was holding a gun, pointing it up towards a crowd, and when he started to run away, police shot him. Families say he was shot 3 times in the back, and that's where it stands now. That's what happened a week ago tomorrow. And what is happening is today, City Council, one by one, 10 out of 13 Wilmington City Council members approached the microphone today to ask for transparency and ask for answers about what exactly led up to this police shooting. That police officer has been put on administrative leave. We do know there is body camera footage available from that shooting. And the big contention now from that teenager's family and some city council members, they would like to see that police body cam video. This investigation has gone through parallel investigations now. One, the main investigation for the police shooting going through the Delaware Department of Justice, a state investigation. The city of Wilmington is also doing an internal investigation as well as the criminal investigation as to how this all happened. But the bottom line is police have not yet released that body cam video. Family members and some city council believe that should be transparent. They should release that video. at the very minimum, they would like the family to be able to see that video along with some representatives, but so far that has not happened. We tried to get in touch with the mayor's office. We tried to get in touch with the police chief's office. So far, no response. The only response now is a couple-day-old press release from the police chief of the city of Wilmington right now asking for patience and asking for any video that might be available of this incident, Jen. And that's another point of contention with family members and some city council. Police are asking for video from the public, but they're not releasing their video of what exactly happened. So that's a kind of a point in contention. So, emotions are running high a week after this 19-year-old Kadir Skinner was shot and killed by police. From family members say he just graduated recently from the Del Castle Technical High School here in Newcastle, Wilmington area. He also got his certification to be a forklift driver. So he was trying to make it in life. Unfortunately, his family members say he was shot down and cut his life too early. However, police say this teenager did have a gun on him. He was pointing it at a crowd. Those details right now are kind of the point of why they want some transparency in this case, Jen.
All right. You explained that so well. It's a complicated case. We appreciate you being out there and getting everything we need. Thank you, Chris, and stay cool, stay safe, you and your crew.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Jen.
You bet. All right. The weather is a big issue, right? And so is transportation in and around the city of Philadelphia. When we first noticed that there was a couple on top of the Empire State Building, we were speaking with Andrew Bush, who is one of the spokespeople for SEPTA. So first of all, thank you for being so flexible and joining us again. I do believe we have Andrew. Hello again.
How you doing?
I'm great. All right. So briefly, it's been about an hour and 45 minutes. Are there any updates?
Yeah, so our crews are out there working on some track repairs to get the service back that we've had suspended today, and that's 3 lines. That's the Manioc Norristown line, Fox Chase, and Chestnut Hill East lines, working to get those back, and then other lines that have been had partial disruptions. We're getting close to that. Our goal is to get that back a little later today, and then make sure that we're ready for full regular service tomorrow morning. That's really the goal at this point. We know that a lot of our customers were disrupted with their morning commute. Unfortunately, they'll probably have an evening commute that has some disruption as well. But we want to make sure that we're full speed for tomorrow morning.
Thank you so much. We appreciate that. We know that this is a very big weekend ahead, several days. It's going to be very hot. The crews that are working underneath you guys are going to make sure everyone gets there and back to the best of their ability. So we appreciate the help. Thank you for hopping back on.
You got it. Thanks.
Okay. Again, we're kind of waiting for another big announcement. We're waiting for a press conference from the mayor of Philadelphia. We've not been told what she is going to be talking about, but because this is such an event-filled weekend, remember, Will Smith is headed here, Christina Aguilera. It's one of the biggest weekends we've had in quite some time. It is certainly a celebration that the city has planned for and worked to provide for quite some time, but the excessive heat is an issue. It is dangerous, and not just to the elderly or people that are compromised in some way. We're not sure what the press conference is, but we do believe that she will address what is happening from an event side at some point, or at least have a question about it. We're going to take a quick 2-minute break. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Skyfox is over some train tracks. Not really sure what is happening there, but we're going to go live. Again, we're looking at these images as you are looking at these images. You know, there were two different train derailments yesterday. There was one that was a CSX train, and then there was a SEPTA train. I'm not sure what Skyfox is looking at, but that's an awful lot of people to be looking at train tracks. By the way, in neither of the train derailments, again, one Bensalem, one more in the Philadelphia area, in neither one of them was heat mentioned. But it looks like they are looking at the track, and could it be that easy to bang it back into shape? I am not sure. We know that in this region of Philadelphia, New Jersey, Delaware, Pennsylvania, we definitely use trains for transportation, both long distance and commuter trains. So they want to make sure everything is set up and ready to go. For the bulk of an hour and a half, you guys and us, we kind of were watching what was happening in New York City. Remember, right around noon today, a couple climbed to the top of the Empire State Building. And there you see it. That is a flag. That was the beginning of it, right? Because basically he's going to climb up and get to her. What was interesting in the beginning is no one knew if they were just climbing up there to attach the flag and their message, which had something to do with world peace and love. No one knew if that was going to be the end of it. But what it appears is that they climbed up there. They were up there for about 35 minutes, climbed back down. And I think it was on that platform there where they actually got engaged. Gave each other a kiss, took a picture. The flag itself reads, "When the power of love beats the love of power, the world knows peace." Apparently that is a variation of a quote that is attributed to musician Jimi Hendrix. So what's interesting is that down below, apparently there was a large NYPD or New York Police Department presence, but where we could see it, it just didn't look like that. We couldn't see it from where we were. During the bulk of the time, the platform, I should say the observation deck at the Empire State Building was still available to people who wanted to be there. But now you can see that they're back open. So again, this is at the height of it, what was going on. A man, a woman, a flag. And at this point, we were just trying to make sure that everyone was able to get out of this situation safely. It does appear that both of them did get down safely, as well as the people who were sent up to rescue them. At the same time, we're kind of waiting. We have a live picture, I believe, over where Mayor Parker is supposed to be speaking. The press conference is expected at 2 o'clock. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer than that to get things going. But we have been told that the mayor is expected to speak at 2 o'clock today. And it was something that was put on her calendar rather late in the day. Typically how it works in the morning, we get the mayor, the president, the district attorneys, the governor's public schedule. As a member of a news organization, the assignment desk gets a list of your public officials and where they will be, whether it's a hearing, whether they're speaking in front of a charity group or holding a press conference about, some initiative that they're involved in. We typically know what they're doing. Today, this news conference being called by the mayor came a little bit later in the day. So it has all of us, and certainly I'm sure the people there, thinking about what is it she's going to say. You can see that the journalists and the people who are there are very hot. It is day one of a very extreme, dangerous heat wave. Looks like they find shade, stay in it when you can, and drink water. The more that you can stay hydrated, they say the better off you will be when temperatures are like this. It helps your brain work, it helps your body work, It helps you stay cool. Remember, Drew Anderson talks about this all the time, one of our meteorologists. When you sweat, that's a good thing because sweat actually gets your body cool. It's one of the ways the human body can cool itself. So when there are extreme temperatures and people are not sweating, that is a great cause for concern. Certainly the least amount of physical activity you can do, the better. We know that your organs, mostly your heart, gets overworked when it is cold like this. All right, as we wait for the mayor's press conference, we're going to take a quick 2-minute break and be right back. Very busy day is the understatement of what's going on today. Again, we're still waiting for the mayor's press conference. We're watching the heat, making sure that everything is as safe as possible. At the same time, the Department of Justice, the DOJ, did have a press conference talking about a Venezuelan crime syndicate. We're going to listen in.
These violent murders should never have occurred in the first place because these men should have never been allowed in our country. Instead, 8 TDA members from Venezuela came here illegally, all 8, every one of them, during the Biden administration, and went on to allegedly commit the heinous crimes described in the charges discussed today. First, let me tell you what happened to a family outside Dallas, Texas. In 2024, 4 men murdered a father, and then they kidnapped his 13-year-old daughter and 12-year-old nephew. Today, right outside Dallas, we unsealed an indictment charging 5 alleged members of TDA with various crimes arising out of that incident I just described. 3 of the 4 are already in custody in the United States for other crimes they had committed, and 1 is being held in Colombia. Also this morning in Chicago, federal and local law enforcement charged 3 alleged TDA members on a criminal complaint charging the brutal murder of another victim in the Chicago area. Our United States attorneys from the Northern District of Illinois and the Northern District of Texas will give you more detail about the 2 incidents that I just described. All 8 of these individuals, the 5 charged in Texas and the 3 in Chicago, crossed our southern border illegally. Every one of them entered under the Biden administration between December 2021 and April 2024. None of these men should have been in this country. The father in Texas should be alive today. His daughter and nephew should have never been kidnapped. The young victim in Chicago should be alive. These violent crimes and murders happened because under the Biden administration, open border policies left our borders wide open, and hundreds of suspected and now convicted TDA terrorists poured through those borders into our country. Now, President Trump stopped this madness on January 20th of last year. That same day, President Trump designated TDA as a foreign terrorist organization. In the 18 months since January 20th, and President Trump did that, nearly 350 members and associates of TDA have been charged and or convicted of horrific violent crime, murders, sex trafficking, kidnappings, along with weapons charges, drug trafficking, robbery, ATM jackpotting, and other widespread financial crimes. Law enforcement in this great nation have worked overtime to find these terrorists, build these cases, and bring them to justice.